Well, hi guys, it's that time. It's our Bible teaching snippet of the day. And yes, I'm running a little bit late today, but I have been with my awesome kid, Courtney. Courtney is in town here in Tennessee. I don't know how long she'll be here, but I've been with her all day long. Now, I've got her listed in my cell phone under my awesome kid, Courtney, because I met her when she was about 12 years old. She came and became a part of a youth group at a church that I was going to at the time, and I was helping with the youth kids, okay? So I have had a very, very good relationship with her, and I call her my kid, and she is my spiritual daughter. But she doesn't need a real mama because she's not related to me in the flesh, okay? We're not related in any way humanly as far as our bloodlines, but she's got an awesome mom. She doesn't need another mom because she's got one already that's perfect in every way. She's got an awesome mother, and I want to thank Doris for sharing her daughter with me all these many years that I've been able to share time with her. So my kid and I have been in town running around. We've been together all day, and I love this kid because she is like the light of the world. She's just like me, my buddy Tanya. You know, there's a bunch of us out there that as we go about, we're smiling, we're happy, we're talking and interacting with people, and we're loving people as we go. Jesus told us to be the light of the world, and that little girl of mine, she is the light of the world. She's a wonderful, wonderful person, and she's been a blessing to be a part of my life. Well, for me to get started talking today, what I want to do first is I want to show you my t-shirt, and it says, do justice, love mercy, walk humbly with your God. And that's the rest of that verse that's not on this t-shirt. I want to read this to you today in the Expanded Bible, and this is, I'm going to go up. This is Micah chapter 6, and I'm going to start in verse 6 and read through verse 8 in the Expanded Bible. So here we go. I just want to bring some light onto this verse right here on my t-shirt. You say, what can I bring with me when I come before the Lord, when I bow before God on high? Should I come before him with burnt offerings, with 1 year calves? Will the Lord be pleased with me with 1,000 male sheep? Will he be pleased with 10,000 rivers of oils? Okay, I want to stop here and say this. He's talking about the different type of sacrifices or offerings that they would put on the altar. The calves, the sheep or the lambs or rams, and the oil. Okay, and the next verse says, should I give my firstborn child for the evil that I have done? So he's asking basically, what do you think that you can do to make God happy? And the answer to all of that is none of those. He never asked for any of that. Okay, mankind thinks he asked for those things. Like, for instance, the sacrifices. God did not ask for those. Man started doing sacrifices, and every time they thought they sinned, they would do their own sacrifices. Okay, and it was a bloodbath here on the earth. And I can show you in the book of Job, if you study it out in the actual literal Hebrew and the literal Greek, okay, it clearly says that Job was offering sacrifices every single day for what his children may have done, what they may have done. So what was happening is so many sacrifices was being done and so many animals were getting killed. What God did is in Leviticus, when he put in the law, he was restricting man from killing so many animals. So what he did is he picked one day, the Day of Atonement, and that way so many animals were not slaughtered day in and day out. Okay? So let me keep reading though, because he asked, should I give my firstborn child for the evil that I have done? Did you know the Israelites actually started killing their own children in the valley of Gehenna, which is translated in our King James Version of Bibles and a few others as hell? And it's actually the valley of Gehenna, and it's a valley outside the city of Jerusalem, and that's where they would take their own babies and burn them over fire to make the god Molech happy. Okay, so see, people are really mixed up about what they believe God needs and requires from them. So let me tell you a little more. Let's pick up and read some more, okay? The Lord has told you, O human, what is good. He has told you what He wants from you. To do what is right to other people. Love, being kind to others. Mercy and loving kindness. And to live humbly, obeying and walking with your God. Did you know that's all God has ever asked of mankind? Is to love each other, to live in this earth in love, loving each other, right? You know, that's the main points of all of Jesus' ministry. He said, love your neighbor, love each other, love one another, love your enemies. It's about loving and walking in love. Do what is right to other people. That's justice, right? Okay? And then to love them and to have mercy, okay? And to walk humbly, not to be proud and arrogant. And I can add to this, don't be religious. Just walk in unity with God and with other people. That's what God has asked us for. Okay, so for the rest of my time today, what I want to do is I want to go back to my video that I did on Friday. And I was talking about the gentleman that I got to talk to, and he was telling me he wanted to get out of that off of his walker and not have to use them little mobile carts that they have, shopping carts, that he would just love to drop a lot of weight and get healthy again to where he could walk. And I talked to him about, that a lot of times people have to change their lifestyle. And I talked about this picture that I posted. I'm going to show you that real quick. I got it on my iPad. You see that right there? That's the picture that I talked about by the guy, and it says, Hippocrates, it says, before you heal someone, ask him if he's willing to give up the things that made him sick. And I want to tell you what I have found is that most people, and most doctors find this, that most people want to be made comfortable in what they are doing that made them sick. If you can heal me for free, I want to be healed. And then I want to go right back to whatever made me sick. And if they go to a doctor, they want some medicine that will help them be able to deal with their sickness or pain or whatever. But very few people want to change their lifestyle to where they don't have to be on medicines, they don't have to go to the doctor, they don't have to be overweight, they don't have to have heart disease, diabetes, cancer, all of these different diseases. And unfortunately, I have seen this over the time that I've been in the healing ministry. As I go around, it's kind of like, well, I'll take whatever you got that's for free, and it doesn't cost me anything. I ain't talking about money, because there's some healing ministries that do make a lot of money. I'm talking about it don't cost them anything as far as lifestyle and changing. It don't take a commitment on their part. But this is kind of, I was talking about how there is a place for there to be a healing ministry as well as to teach people how not to be sick. And that is my heart's desire, is to teach people how they can walk in health and they don't have to be sick, so they don't have to be begging God to heal them, right? And they don't have to go to doctors. They don't have to be disabled. Like the man, he don't have to be on his mobile shopping cart. But you got to be willing to give up some things. And when I talk about health and nutrition to people, I automatically think about Philippians chapter 3, verse 19. And it says, they are headed for destruction because their stomach is their God. And guys, that is a lot of times so true. So let me stop there, and I want to flip over and tell you some things that I think about when I lay hands on people now. I remember going to a hospital and praying for a little boy. He was probably 4 years old, riddled with leukemia, cancer, at St. Jude. And a miracle happened in that room that day, by the way. This kid just turns the corner. His fever went perfectly. His blood pressure was perfect. The doctors was amazed at the change in him, to the point they were allowing him to leave that hospital and go home. His mother decided that she wanted to keep doing the radiation and chemo, which I personally disagreed with, but I'm not his mom, okay? I don't get to make that decision. But here's the thing that I saw. He went into remission for a little while, for maybe a year or so. But this baby ended up back there again, and this time he passed away. What breaks my heart is because I personally believe that if we were feeding our children a plant-based diet, our babies would not be having cancer. I don't believe that when we feed our babies, our little ones, hot dogs, processed foods, little chicken nuggets and stuff, that we're making good decisions for our babies. So this is a kind of a thing for me now. When I see someone who wants prayer for a sickness and an illness, one of the things that I really want to know is, are you willing to make some lifestyle adjustments so that you can get well? Not because God does heal. I'm telling you, I've laid hands on 3,000 people, and I've seen miracles after miracles. I've seen 6 people raised from the dead. But what I also know is that whatever got you in that condition to begin with, we need to identify that and stop doing that. It's like if I have a blowout or a tire, a flat on my car, right? Why would I go and run over some more nails so I'm broke down on the side of the road again, needing to call someone on my cell phone and say, hey, can you come and help me? So maybe what needs to happen is we need to identify, because see, whatever we put in our body, and you know, this is harsh because a lot of Christians don't want to hear this. Christians don't want to hear that I have to take responsibility for my life. I can just eat junk food, I can pray over it, I can down 7 or 8 Coca-Colas, I can eat fast food every day, all week. I don't have to worry about none of that because God's got my back. I've had people tell me, oh, God's got my back. Well, you know, if that's kind of how God worked, guys, why was it so important in Genesis chapter 1? See, I've given you all things to eat, all things in the earth. Now eat from these plants, eat from the trees. That's Genesis 1:29. And then he tells us again in Genesis chapter 2, 2 times, in Genesis chapter 3, another time. 4 times God tells us what to eat. There is a way to walk in health. The bigger question is, are we willing to walk that way, right? And eat that way and live that way so that we can walk in divine health and not go from one flat tire to another flat tire? Or are we just happy to be sick, not feel good, not have any energy, maybe be overweight, be in pain, be on pain pills? You know, half of the Americans, 50% of Americans are addicted to an opioid, some type of pain medicine. Heart attacks every 40 seconds. Every 40 seconds. Think about this. This video is going to be less than 15 minutes long. Within 40 seconds, about 20 or better people have had heart attacks since I've been on here talking to you today. Are we willing to change our lifestyles, or are we happy with the results of not being healthy and going to doctors, taking those average 6 prescriptions per American and being in pain and feeling bad? Or do we want to go to a higher? And that's, you know, I've got that on my heart because I believe there is a balance. And I know there's a balance. There is definitely a balance. You know, John G. Lake, he wouldn't pray for people and let them come to his healing house unless they were willing to lay down the medications that they were taking. They had to stop taking their medications and believe God for their healing. And I would never tell anybody that in this day and age, but what I am saying, if you want to get healed and stay healed, you're going to have to make some lifestyle adjustments, or whatever you were putting in your body that made you sick to start with, made you feel bad, you're just repeating it over and over again, and it's going to be from one flat tire to the next flat tire. So guys, that's what I've had on my heart. Tomorrow I plan on talking about my little booklet here and talking to you about it. I love you, and I'll see you here. Okay? Bye-bye.